So here we are. We're going to talk about the testing that's available and everything. I watched your video explaining it all. I'm really happy what you're doing for all these communities. I'm sure a lot of people are. It's benefiting so many. So first, I'm going to start out with: do you think that Kern County has done enough in order to educate the Hispanic community?
And no, I don't believe that has been enough, especially in the Central Valley of California. We have a lot of farm workers. Many of the workers were not given the support that they needed in terms of safety masks, guidance on social distancing. Many of the farm workers have been infected with the COVID-19 virus. And we think that there was a shortfall in that respect. Uh, I think more recently there has been more support for them, but at the beginning there wasn't. The other thing is that the farm workers are essential workers. They're frontline workers, but they haven't been recognized as such. When we see all of the kudos and applauses to all of the frontline workers, somehow they never mention the farm workers who are out there every single day. And they have suffered economic consequences also because children are at home. So one of the parents who would normally go to work in the fields, they can't. So they have to stay home with the kids. So that means that their income has been cut in half. The money that they would normally receive. And then the other thing is that the children in many of these rural areas of the Central Valley, they don't have broadband. The kids are supposed to be studying from home. They don't have computers. So, the whole Latino community has really been affected very severely by this pandemic.
And so the testing site, to be exact, we were there when it opened, the press conference with Councilmember, Perez and everything, or Supervisor Perez. And it's, the testing is available and all that. So looking at it, perhaps maybe you believe it's more of an educational factor, which is, preventing people from, knowing enough about testing or how the process or, being able to be tested. Do you think, what else do you think we could do to educate the Hispanic community?
Well, I think a lot of people thought that they only needed to take the test if they were infected. They didn't realize that everybody needs to take the test just to be able to get the kind of statistics that would eventually help us to open up the city. The other thing that's happened here in Kern County, of course, we know that the Board of Supervisors and the City Council have both voted, yeah, we can open up the city over Memorial Day weekend. But we know that there were a lot of people that were wandering around without any kind of mask. There were gatherings, many gatherings of many people together without social distancing. And I believe that that was a little premature because I don't believe that we've reached the peak yet. Our numbers are still increasing. And I think that they should have waited a while before they opened up the city. And I know when I say that it's difficult for the small businesses and all of the people that are suffering. But again, here's where you have to choose between the economy and of course people dying, and it's not fair, especially since we see that 65% of the people that have been infected with the virus are Latinos, and this is something that we don't want to see continue. So I think that people have to take a lot more caution than what they're doing.
So would you have rather, the county wait on reopening a lot of these establishments so that we could get more testing done for, communities like the large Hispanic community we have? Would you have rather seen us, hold off for now until we get that under control?
I would have preferred that personally. Our organization, we have been locked down even a week before the governor announced it, and we'll continue to be on lockdown until we hit. I don't believe that we have hit the peak here in Kern County, definitely not in Tulare County, and the people need to just be really careful.
And when it comes to testing, certainly cost is a big factor for many people. Many people who have no insurance and even people with insurance. But for a lot of the Hispanic community, do you believe the cost of testing has, or the thought that, it costs so much, it has prevented them from, seeking out tests?
Well, we know that the cost of being is a lot worse. But I know Supervisor Perez was able to make the testing actually free for people so that they didn't have to worry about paying anything. But that message still has to be, broadcasted more often so people understand.
Now, does the Delores Huerta Foundation plan to hold any other events in order to, you know, get this community outreach across to more aware people? Because certainly, you know, coming on news shows and all that is great, and not everybody has news. Older folks, even the younger folks. Um, is there anything else that you believe that the foundation can do to go ahead and give that community outreach it needs?
Well, one of the things that I spoke with Governor Newsom, we had a conversation yesterday, and I encouraged him because under the law, the Agricultural Labor Relations Law, the state can actually go out into the fields and to be able to talk to the employers, to the labor contractors, the former, and to the workers to advise them on how to be able to work more safely. And then we know that our local communities, like here in Kern County, United Way, has been very, very helpful in terms of not only trying to get resources out to people, but making more information available to them about safety issues. And then, of course, we're continuing to work on the census, because we still have a lot of our people that haven't signed up for the census, and we know that is an imperative also. And we try to tell folks, look, listen, we have these resources that are coming into our community. How do they know how many resources we need? By the number of us that are counted. And so he keeps saying to people, look, for each one of us that is counted, we bring in $2,500 for our family and for our community. And if we do not participate in the census, if we do not call in, our families' names and their birth dates, then or if we, send in the paper that they sent us, then we will get the money. If we don't, we're going to lose the money. And now, especially after this pandemic, that we need so much more money coming in for our schools. Schools are going to get a big, they're not going to get the money that they need. And so it's really, really important that everybody gets counted for schools, for healthcare, for community clinics, for our parks and streets and things that we need.
And for, right now with things opening back up and all of that, is there any part of that that worries you for the road ahead? Is there anything that you are unsure of, or that you think we should be handling right now, so don't have to handle it later?
Well, I think everything is going to be like in turmoil. We know that our children are going to be so far behind, again, because of the fact of lack of broadband, the lack of computers, the lack of getting the support that they need. So everything is going to have to be reimagined, and we have to rethink about the way that we're going to go forward to make sure that our community doesn't get further and further and further behind than what they already were.
And have you seen an increase in the awareness of the Hispanic community? Like, are they embracing the testing? Are they embracing the outreach?
Well, I really can't speak to that. I think we would have to talk to some of the people that are doing the testing so we can see what their numbers are. And I think that the media is really important to kind of constantly inform people, because sometimes people don't understand the first time and they don't think it's important. But I think if the media continues to push that issue, that people will understand. And I think also at the beginning, maybe there was just a fear that people were afraid, what if I'm tested and I am infected? Then what do I do? So I think we just have to, like in many, many things, it's fear that really holds us back, whether it's fear of testing, whether it's fear of being counted in the census. We have to kind of break through that fear to make people understand that everything that we're asking you to do is really to be safe and to be safe and to be responsible.
Is there anything else that you would like to tell the community watching, everybody who's watching, who will see this? What's like the number one thing you would like to leave them with?
Well, I would just like to say to everybody, we have to, as we know has been said often, that we have to protect each other, and because that's the best way as a community that we can survive. And I also just want to add that I want to invite everybody. I'm having an online birthday party for my 90th birthday on May the 30th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And we're going to have a lot of great people on there: George Lopez, Jane Fonda, Eva Longoria, Selma Hayek, Governor Newsom. Everybody we can think about is going to be there. celebrating, and we would like people to go to DoloresHuerta.org, DoloresHuerta.org, and you can log in so that you can join us and help celebrate my 90th birthday. My birthday was actually on April the 10th, but we couldn't celebrate it then because of the pandemic. So then we said, okay, let's do an online birthday party, and that's what we're doing May the 30th at 5 p.m. Pacific time.
That is pretty cool, and happy belated birthday. I thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for stopping by today to talk to us. It's great. It's a pleasure. And we look forward to seeing everything else that the foundation does.
Thank you very much.